God War, which is the latest arc in the Miles Morales Spider-Man series, is not what everybody's going to want out of a Miles Morales comic. It's broad and comic booky, and sometimes Miles gets a little lost in the plot. But I think this arc speaks to what this series as a whole truly is now. It's Marvel team-up, but with Miles Morales. Over the course of this run, a run that I've enjoyed more often than not, the writer Cody Ziglar has integrated Miles into the wider Marvel universe. Webs of Wakanda saw him teaming up with Black Panther, travelling to Wakanda and meeting African gods. Pools of Blood saw him fight against and alongside Deadpool and his daughter, in a crossover with the also Ziegler-penned Deadpool series. Miles has been a vampire for the Blood Hunt event and fought Carnage in a big symbiote event, and even in the more grounded stories he's palling around with Misty Knight and Doc Samson. There's clearly a desire, whether from Cody Ziglar or someone higher up, to have Miles integrating into the wider Marvel universe, a universe that he's not originally from. More specifically, having him integrate with other black characters, Misty Knight and Black Panther and Blade, and Storm in an annual. And as a goal for a series, it's a strong one. We're giving Miles connections away from the Peter Parker of it all and creating and showcasing people of colour regularly. It's also a goal that sometimes sidelines Miles in favour of flashier guest stars, but we'll get to that. God War, taking place between issues 32 and 36, teams Miles up with gods, mostly of the Greek variety. Thor makes an appearance early on, mostly I think so they can stick him on a cover, but it's Hercules as the main ally. Due to events in Wakanda, Miles is now the avatar of Anansi, the African god of spiders. Anansi is a character that speaks to the mythological nerd in me, beautifully designed, with a starry cloak and a trickster personality, and I love him. And since Miles is Anansi's avatar, when Ares and Anansi challenge each other to combat, Miles finds himself in a tournament against demigods, with some friends and enemies magically summoned to be on his team and to fight alongside him. It's a fun and simple concept, heroes fighting villains in a tournament in a giant stadium that's made a bit more complex with some ulterior motives for the contest. Cody Ziglar is clearly a fan of manga, its inspiration is clear throughout this whole series, and his combat reflects that. Marco Renna draws fantastically dynamic panels here, and Ziegler's having fun with big, showy powers. When the story is doing the combat thing, which is often, it's poppy and, well, it's cool and comic booky and fun. People are bringing different powers into the fight and panels splash and tilt across the page. If you're a fan of superhero hits superhero, there's a lot to love here. Outside of the combat, it's more of a mixed bag. Ziegler is doing something really interesting with Shift, Miles' clone, now going by Jamie Morales and attending a different school. After him gaining a new family and almost dying at the hands of Deadpools, we're seeing him integrate into a somewhat normal life, finding love and friendship. But these personal moments that are really interesting are really only there in those first 2 issues and fade away once the core plot gets going, as our characters are magically transported away from familiar locale and into generic battleground where no serious damage can be done. Even when the finale threatens people and places that Miles holds dear, there's a weightlessness to it, even before it all gets magically swept under the rug. And ultimately, this is where the series might lose people. While this run began as a look at the life of Miles, following him to school and seeking therapy, this has very much stopped being the focus right now. Miles is in the jungles of Wakanda, or in warehouses, or hiding his vampirism from the world, and so we're not seeing him juggle his personal life with his superhero life. We're not seeing his day-to-day. There just isn't time. And that might bother you. As the only real Miles ongoing, it's a shame that we don't spend more time with just Miles and his civilian supporting cast. The original Marvel team-up, which is what I'm comparing this to, was an additional Spider-Man title, running alongside Amazing Spider-Man that provided more of the day-to-day life for Peter. Miles doesn't have that, and so there's nowhere to go to get that more civilian life. But we grade what we're given, and what we're given here still has lots of good stuff within. Ziglar has a great voice for Miles, and our hero sounds young and connected with black culture in a way that he hasn't in other series. He feels distinctly Miles rather than a reskinned Peter. Anansi too has a fantastic voice, and he's a character that gets to chew furniture and steal the spotlight, even in moments when the staging is a little flat, with characters standing in two groups and just talking at one another. Ziglar's dialogue is well written and a breeze to read. Miles and Anansi, as well as Hercules and other gods here, all sound unique. And there's fun to be had in the black teen from Brooklyn in dialogue with African and Greek gods. Will God War become a major part of Miles Morales' lore, remembered years down the line? Probably not, but it's fun, and it's punchy and clean and comic booky in a delightful way, clearly created by a team that love the character and love the mythology they're building around him. And sometimes it's just nice to read a fun comic booky comic book. Hi, thank you for watching all the way to the end. I really appreciate you being here. If you're reading Miles Morales Spider-Man yourself, let me know what you're thinking about it. If you'd like to support these kind of reviews as well as the recaps and the video essays that I do, you could just like and share this channel, or join me on Patreon for early or exclusive episodes as I continue to read every Spider-Man comic ever.